Hi, I'm Terrell Wortham Sproul, and I'm here in the studio of contemporary artist Andrea Algroni. Andrea, it's great to be here with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh, thank you.
Would you mind sharing with us some of your work?
Definitely. Okay. Well,
Let's start here.
Oh, right here. Okay. I call it Bird Seahorse, and I actually started this painting with a bunch of other ones on the floor, and I really just threw the paint down. I was actually thinking of birds when I started I think I started this line first. Okay. I kind of threw it on, and I guess I was thinking of like a big bird, like a pelican, and this kind of looks like a seahorse. So I went with like, oh, it does look like a pelican after I threw down the initial layers, and I went with it, and this kind of looked like a seahorse, so I just kind of just let it all flow together. But several layers, it took several layers. I'd stop, let it dry, put another layer down, stop, let it dry, you know, move it around so it was appealing to myself, and the layering process.
So was each layer a different color, or did you use multiple colors on one layer and multiple colors on the second layer?
Oh, good question. You know, it's hard because I do so many paintings. It's like this one. I think that this one, I use different colors at the same time, wet on wet, and then sometimes I'd let it dry and then do another color. Yeah. And then I go back with a brush, and I always do that. Like this, I think might have been the background, and I filled it in yellow. And I remember doing the yellow last. Yeah. And a lot of times I like the canvas showing because I use a protective polyacrylic layer when I'm done. Because if you use gesso, it's acrylic. It's like a binder, and acrylic paint is very long lasting. So I'll put this protective coating on, and often I'll spray the back, and it's very durable. So, but I like having the canvas show through, I really do. Even if it is primed, I like having that show.
What about this one here?
Okay, this one I did in 2011. That was right after all the global birds started falling from the sky. So it started as a landscape, like this was the sky, okay, but I just let it bleed. Like here was like, it was a beautiful sunset. But then I just started throwing the paint on more, and it's like, you know what? It evolved into I just made it more abstract than I originally intended. And I just let it, I just loved how it was coming out, how abstract it was. It's like, you know what? I don't want this to be a literal sky. That was the sky, and it started falling. When I let it stain, and I call it The Sky is Falling. But I was influenced by the birds that fell from the sky globally.
This one is really blue. What's happening here?
Oh yeah, that's an ocean scene. Oh, Into the Gray Blue, that's what I call it. Yeah. I remember I did it right out here, and I just let it all move with the angle that I put it at. Just move the canvas around. So I actually let it stay at this angle outside for about 6 hours. And then I put another layer on while it was still at that angle, you know. And then I went back with a brush, and I usually do. Sometimes I use sand, but this one I didn't. You know, I just go in the details. This was the part where the canvas was just bare, and I decided to go over that. Sometimes I'll leave it bare because I like to show that. But I went over it with color. And here, see there? Yeah, I went over that too. Yep.
Wow, this is a large canvas you have on the floor. What's about to happen?
It is. But actually, I want them all to be a size of that, because I'm going to do a series of large ones. So I just haven't stretched this one yet. I do have the stretchers, I just haven't yet. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start a couple layers just to show you all how I do it. But I usually do stretch it first. But you know, sometimes I don't. I usually do though. Okay, but
what is stretching? Could you explain what stretching is?
Oh, stretching. Okay, making the stretchers, and some people will call it the frame, but these aren't framed. It's just the wood that's holding it all in place. So it's like the framework behind the canvas. Yeah, and it's like as tight as a drum, and you can pick it up, move it around, let it, you know, like level it so it goes into it, it flows in a certain direction. You can guide that. So a lot of times I will start with this water spray. And it's easier when you stretch it, but not necessarily when it's this big, because it's like, oh, you gotta, in order to put it in an angle, you have to, you know, put it up on something. You know, like I have to put on the tip of that chair and make sure that it doesn't move. Or you have to like get a strategy first of like where you're gonna get the chairs and the leverages in place before you start moving it. But a lot of times I'll start to get the layers flowing. I'll start by spraying water, so it goes in a certain direction.
Now, do you have to put any kind of primer on it?
Well, some people do. Sometimes I do actually, but I like the way the paint absorbs into the canvas because it's just beautiful. And yes, I really do. I like the way the raw canvas interacts with the paint layers. And it's just really beautiful.
What are you spraying? Is that just water?
That's just water, yeah. Oh, you don't want to get, all right, I don't want to get the camera wet. Okay, there we go. You know, and then I might spread that. Probably will spread it. Let me just.
Now, I guess kids shouldn't try this at home without the parents' permission, right?
Yeah, five and under. Maybe in the bathtub. I've actually done some paintings in the bathtub before. I really have. Yeah, when I lived in an apartment, I did a couple of them in the bathtub. To make a mess. Make a mess. Yes. Oh yes. All right. Now, so I'm going to go with this, and if I don't like it, I'll just paint over it. But I'm going to go with it. I'll let it dry and see what it looks like. But it is going to be a part of the series of Sky is Falling. I know it is.
So do you feel that it's better to do large works this size because you're doing nature subjects?
Actually, it is conducive to the sky, but no, I just like doing it. Yeah. You know, I mean, there are a lot of gorgeous paintings that are natural or landscape paintings that are small. I just really enjoy doing them large. Yeah, I mean, I love doing that painting. Just throw the paint on. What I like to do is you have to mix a bunch of paint first, and then you really get into it. But sometimes I don't, and sometimes some of my best paintings are like, I hate it first. I really hate it. And you just have to work with it. You know, it's dedication. I think a lot of it is dedication. What does this look like? You know what? I haven't the foggiest, but I'll make it into something. Yeah.
So for something like this, would you already have a series of colors in mind, or are you just going to let it evolve as you apply one color? You may think of another one that you want to use that you haven't thought of yet.
At this stage in the game, I don't have a plan. I usually have a plan, but I do have a painting in mind that I haven't painted yet, and this isn't it. So I think I am going to think about what I want to do. I could just make it totally abstract and just start picking colors, but I do want it to be part of the series, so I'm going to just think about this. Sometimes I sketch, sometimes I'll just sketch in my head. I'll just think about it. A lot of times, I mean, I swear, I'll have dreams about paintings that I haven't painted, and it gives me ideas. But usually I just think about it in my head. And I don't sketch it, I just kind of sketch it on the canvas. Yeah.
That brings up a good point. A lot of artists do use sketchbooks.
Yeah.
So you're saying you usually just have to have your ideas in your head?
Yeah, sometimes I will sketch them. I mean, I do sketch. Like, and they go in the other room, I've got a lot of plastic down. I've got the big, what is it? Just the big sheets of plastic so it doesn't get on the tile because there's a tile floor. But I have a bunch of sketches in there, and I do, you know. But the real abstract ones you can't, because that defeats the purpose of, you know, that's like true abstract expressionism. Yeah.
Well, this is a great process. It seems like it's something that you can really get into and really take all over the place, maybe get out some frustrations even.
Oh, yeah,
So thanks for sharing the process and your work.
Oh, you're welcome.